Good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon on this Friday. It's a Friday. It's Friday, right?
It is Friday.
Yes. It's Friday. We made it through another week. We made it through another week. Well, I am Portia Wheatley. I am the founder and the president of a nonprofit organization acknowledged as Trophy of Life Incorporated. And we have the great privilege and the honor, and most of all, the assignment, the God assignment, to render hope, encouragement, and inspiration to you, our audience, across the whole wide world. Let me bring in my co-host at this time.
Hello, everyone. My name is Takara Swan, and I am so happy to be here with you all on this beautiful and very warm Friday here in Maryland. Today, we have a great guest that I can't wait to hear from. But before we get started, we want you to be part of our team. And the way you can do that is to log in on YouTube and subscribe to our YouTube page. That way, you can help us spread hope, encouragement, and inspiration to the entire world.
To the entire world. I second that motion. To the entire world. It's amazing. God is doing it. And when you come on board as a teammate, you help us to do the same. You can't go to some of the places where Project 365 goes physically. You can go with us as a team as we deliver the message of hope, encouragement, and inspiration. Well, as Takira has stated, we have a great guest with us on today. And today our topic is still talking about our youth and how we cannot, we meaning family, friends, parents, we cannot give up on our youth. You see, they need help. And I know, yes, and the youth may say, well, the adults need help too. Yes, you're absolutely correct. But our focus today is on our youth. And before we go there, I just want to give a shout out to Deborah Fletcher. Well, Debbie Fletcher, that's what I always call it, Debbie Fletcher, who introduced me to Vanessa. And I want Deb to know I appreciate you. Okay, period, point blank. I appreciate you. And we are definitely praying for you as a parent, as my sister in the Lord, just because of your challenge, your physical challenge that you may be going through now. We're praying for you. Okay, we are ready to talk with Vanessa. We're going to give her the platform because she's also going to talk about building self-esteem in our youth and self-worth and respect. All of this is needed in our youth on today. And I am just so grateful to God that Vanessa was available to come and be with us on today. And we're going to step back from the platform and let you take over, Vanessa. Share with us what you have on your heart.
Great. Thank you so much. And I'm so thankful to be here today. I'm thankful also to Miss Fletcher, who is my really best friend. So I'm thankful to her as well. I'm glad that I could assist. I am Vanessa Allen, director of the Young People's Training Guild. And I have been working with the youth now since 2000 and teaching etiquette and employability skills, life skills. And it has been a great journey. Started probably with 7 kids. I started with 7 kids teaching etiquette. I had no idea. I'm like, Lord, I am just a vessel. I will serve. I had no building. All I did, I had a heart to serve. That's it. And I said, if you want to do this, then you're going to have to provide the platform for me to do it. So sometimes, we don't do things, but you have to walk out on faith. So there was a young lady who believed in our vision and our mission. And she said, oh, yeah, you can have this building. And that was over 20 years ago. And I'm still going strong. So I'm here today because I have a heart for the young people. And things have really changed from where we were into where we are now. We're facing many different challenges, even from when we were kids. We're facing many different challenges today. And, I'm just here to extend my hand and my heart and to dig deep. I want to go in the trenches and pull the youth up out of the trenches. And some of them are definitely in the trenches today. So my next mission is P first and C100. The P is for prayer and the C is for change. So I'm going to just go in the trenches and ask the youth, just change one thing, because it all starts with one. So I'm going back in the trenches again and, try to pull the youth out and just ask for change. A lot of the youth are telling me we had a platform of I think it was 10 or more youth here, probably about 2 weeks ago. And because I said, Lord, I don't know if I can go back and do this again. And I said, well, let me pull the youth in and see what they're thinking and what's on their mind. So I brought them on in and, I wanted to know what was on their mind. And they feel like they don't know where they came from was a issue. One of the issues that they said they feel like they've been lied to, and they just feel a little ill-equipped for this economy and what's going on in this economy. They don't really fully understand COVID. They're trying to get themselves together when it comes to COVID, but they don't fully understand. So they have a few issues. And I feel like it's unfortunate because they feel like we're not listening. They feel like that we're doing a lot of talking, but we're not listening. And so I just gave them the platform to say whatever it is that you need to say and however it is that you need to feel. And, they were just like, our parents are always telling us what we should do, what we could do, but they're not really listening to how we're feeling at this particular time. And it's a lot of fear there right now. It's a lot of fear. But and saying that, we talked about drugs and alcohol because that is prevalent. That's a problem. Cigarettes are a problem. They have this new cigarette. That's a really big problem. And I believe that before we can make any changes, that we have to dig deep to the core. It's just like an apple. You got to get down to the core of things. And there's a lot of pain there, in some of our youth. There's a lot of pain. There are unresolved issues, and they just don't know what to do or how to do it. They feel like there are no resources, or they don't know how to tap into the resources that they may have. So it's a lot going on. There's a lot going on. And so we just want to, like I said, dig down in the trenches, say, hey, come on, what are your issues? Because we have to meet our youth where they are. We want to see change, but we don't want to meet them where they are many times. And you have to meet that youth where they are, may it be drugs, alcohol, or whatever, because you can't ask them to change until you meet them where they are and let them know, hey, this is okay. You're okay. You are okay. I'm not saying you're okay just how you are, but I'm saying that you're okay. So the organization that I have, we've been just diligently working with youth in all counties and every county on the Eastern Shore. We've reached out to the youth and, provided resources to them, etiquette, employability classes. We're out there. In my new program for change, I want to provide additional resources, food, clothing, whatever it is that they need. We need to talk about credit because that's a big issue as well for the youth, because they're making some really bad choices. I have one young lady, she purchased a car. I mean, the car payment's $600. The insurance is $300. And did you consult with your parent about this? So they're making some choices that are not good because they haven't been taught. What happened to the little hoopties? Because that's what we used to get when we were coming up. We used to get the little hoopties, and with no car payment. So we're facing a lot of challenges right now, a lot of challenges right now. And all we can do is just attack it one step at a time, one youth at a time, one step at a time. But we're facing some real issues. And some of the issues, believe it or not, it starts with us. It starts with us. It starts with me. I used to tell my kids when they went to school, I'm expecting great things. So don't you bring me anything less. I am expecting great things from you, and so we have identity crisis, where we want to have all this flash and blast, and we don't have that substance inside. They need that substance and they lack it. They don't have it. They want to be dressed all down in Nike. Well, those things have to be paid for, so we need to teach them that those things have to be paid for and they should be paying for them, because that's what I teach them. You shouldn't depend on your mother to buy you Nike, Under Armour, and the rest of those name brands. So I think we need to go back to the basics. We need to go way back to the basics and start there and just start all over again and come back up again. Because right now we're fighting a real tragedy right now with drugs, alcohol, cigarettes, and this, cell phones, because they'll kill you over a cell phone. So we didn't have that when we were coming up. We weren't faced with these many challenges. And as I said, I feel like it starts with us. We have the power, but have we activated it? The Lord say, pray without ceasing. We'll say, okay, I'll be praying for you, but are you really praying? Are you really praying for the youth? Because a lot of times I hear, oh, they're so bad, they're so terrible. Well, when have you given a youth a positive word? You look really nice today, young lady. It matters. That goes right along with the self-esteem and self-worth, because we don't know the trauma that individual may have felt. So we have the power. We're just not activating the power to diligently pray for our young people and their siblings and their parents. The power is within us, but I'm not real sure we're activating. Some of the parents tell me they're scared of their kids. They're afraid. And it's really sad. And so again, it starts with us. It starts with us, the church, and everybody else, because it's going to take more than what it did in the past. We're going to have to pray, fast, activate. What are we doing? What are we doing? We talk a good game, but really, what are we doing? Because it does. We're Christians. We're supposed to have the power. The power is within us. So why are we having so many problems if we're supposed to have the power? Are we activating it? Are we fasting? Are we praying? Yes, they have a responsibility as well as young people, but we have a responsibility too.
We definitely do. We definitely do. That's some great information and advice. So just name a few types of coping mechanisms that we as parents can pass on to our children to help them with self-esteem and self-worth and respect. What are just some of the things that you've seen in your experience that can that can help them?
Well, I think first and foremost, we have to forgive. I think it starts with forgiveness, because we hold on to a lot sometimes, and we don't realize that the things that we hold on to, this kid may be disrespectful, might have been in the jail. Oh, this kid may have done a slew of things. And for some parents, that's very hurtful. They may be talked back or whatever the case may be. but we have to forgive in our hearts first. We have to forgive, and we have to see that child in a different light than where they are. That's what faith is. Faith is not seeing Johnny as a disrespectful young man, although we have to acknowledge that, but we have to see Johnny from a different light so we can change our mindset. So everything starts right here. If you forgive that kid, and we have to do less of this, less talking and more listening, because that's what they're crying out for. They feel alone. And when you feel alone and you feel isolated, other things, drugs, alcohol, and trust and believe, I'm not blaming the parent, because I know a lot of parents probably saying, well, it sounds like you're blaming the parent. I'm not blaming the parent. The parent is one source, but I am saying that we have to forgive in our hearts. We have to forgive them for the things that they've done, for the things that they've said, so your heart can open up to love, unconditional love. Unconditional love. And we have to listen. Okay, I'm here. I hear you. I'm here. Tell me what it is that you're feeling. Let's start over. Because I always tell a youth when they have issues, you know what? You came in here and your attitude wasn't right. So let's start over, and let's start over. Let's sit down. Tell me what's on your mind. And just be quiet and listen. It's very difficult for parents to listen because they always want to, well, this is what you should do. This is what you should do. We have to be active listeners, because they have a lot to say. They have a lot to say, a lot. And some of what they're saying right now, we need to hear. You need to hear that they're getting cigarettes. They're buying cigarettes from the guy on the street, or they're buying alcohol and drugs, or that they're prostituting themselves to get some of those things that they want. We need to hear those things. And although we don't want to hear them, give them a platform, invite them in and let them say anything that they want, non-judgmental, because then you can begin to build and to help that youth grow. We're going to do this together. We can fight this thing in a non-judgmental way. You might be hot as pie up under the collar, but in order to really get down to that core and help them, you have to listen to them.
You definitely have to listen to them. And that respect pretty much goes both ways. A lot of times back in the day, it was like, this is my house. You do what I say, when I say it, and that. But, the parents as well, let's start with the parents. It's our tone of voice that makes a difference as well. When the child is always listening to the fact that my parent always hollers at me, and when you think as well, that parent hollers and uses a very projected voice because that's what their parents did. We have to say all of that is going to stop with me. I'm not going to treat my child the way I was treated. I'm not going to holler at them the way my parents hollered at me. I'm not going to disrespect, what I like, or things that I like to do, because the parents may not have been used to it and they don't like to do it, but it's something that that child is passionate about. So, if it's something that's good, and I'm not talking about something that's off the chain, but still, like you said, listen, and see how your tone of voice can calm that raging, whatever we want to call it, in that child.
Exactly. Because what you say matters. They're listening to you. They're listening to your conversation. They are listening. They are actively listening, even when you don't think you think they are. They're still listening. So some positive affirmations are really good, to say, hey, you did that good. Oh, I'm so proud of you. It builds confidence. It does. It builds confidence. And so, let them know, even if you have to discipline them afterward. Listen, on Tuesday, the kitchen looked really good, really good. You could work on sweeping the floor a little bit, but for the most part, it was awesome. And that positive affirmation. But in order for us to really get down to the core of the other issues, if we can't have positive dialogue, then how are we going to talk to them about drugs, alcohol, sex, and all the other issues if they feel like you don't care because you won't even listen to me. So
Right.
I just think that we need to listen, actively listen without speaking all the time, so that we can get down to the core issues, so that we can get down to the drugs, the alcohol, the sex, the
Mhm.
talking back. Because otherwise, then you have a family of people that are just in the house but are separated. They're
In
in
the
the house,
house. Hmm.
right? But they're
But
not
a
there.
separate.
They're really not there.
Exactly. Exactly.
Mhm,
Now you talked about purchasing cigarettes from the corner or something. All of those
mhm,
things are in the school.
mhm.
Pretty much anything that's happening in the adult world, they're happening in the school system. So we really do have to keep watch on our children, not necessarily like, just give them a little bit at a time. We train them, we teach them, we love them, we speak to them in a manner that you would want to be spoken to. And it does definitely make a difference. The
It
positive
does.
affirmation, all of those things work together. And if
Mhm,
you are not a parent, but you see a child in the neighborhood, or a teenager, a young adult in the neighborhood, and you know they don't have morals and principles and values and all of that, ask God to give you some type of wherewithal to get your toe
mhm.
in the door, not even your whole foot, but your toe in the
Right.
door with a relationship with them, build a
Mhm,
relationship. And it doesn't have to be a relationship where you come over to my house to eat dinner, something like that.
mhm. Right.
Just start
Right.
somewhere. That caring must be in our hearts. It must be in our hearts. Otherwise, we're going to lose many generations. We're definitely
Mhm.
going to lose many generations.
And
But
it's no reason why we should. We don't have to, because we have the power as Christian women, as mothers, as sisters, cousins. We have that power. Life and death is in the power of the tongue. We have the power. If we have to fast and come together collectively for 30 days, come on, we're going to fast for 30 days. We're going to pray 3 or 4 times, prayer without ceasing. It's going to cost us something. I don't believe that we're just going to be able to get it done. I believe that it's going to cost us something. And are we willing to do what it's going to cost in order to get what we need? It's a must. It's a
yeah,
must. Otherwise, we're losing this battle. It's a battle that we have no business losing. None
I
at all.
always say, I always say that number one, we have to pray. That's a given. And then you find
Mhm,
that many non-believers, you look at their children and they don't have any of these types of behaviors in their children.
mhm,
So it's in addition to prayer, we have to do some things.
mhm,
In addition to fasting, we have to do some things.
mhm.
In addition to speaking in tongue, we have to do some things. So it's
Amen.
wonderful. God will lead us and direct us, but we have to get up
Mhm.
and do something. We definitely have
Something.
to get
We
something.
do.
Yes.
We do. We have to show them love. Like I said, we have to meet them where they are, show them love right where they are. Lord knows I tell the youth all the time, you must respect your parents, like you must. It is a must. I mean, because the kids are going out of here so fast. I mean, like clockwork, they're leaving this earth at a young age, but like I said, I think it starts with us as parents, as sisters, as it starts with us. And the youth, they own a little, they need to have a little responsibility in this as well, because they do need to change. Some of their actions need to change. Some of their dialogue needs to change. Their attitudes need to change. But how do you change if you don't know? Sometimes they don't know what they don't know. So how do you change? How do you make that change? Love. Love. It's just like the church. Before you can change Miss Mary down the street, you got to love her in first. You can't change her until you love her in. You have to show her love. It's the very basic things. It's love. Now, is that saying that they're still going to do right? No, because I have kids too, and I love them to pieces. And have they gone far left? Yes. But still, I believe that, prayer changes things. And they're coming around, because once it's in them, and they will never forget. They won't forget. all of that it's there. It's in them. What you taught them, the things that you said, it's still there, but it's just making a change.
I definitely agree. And one thing I like to do is, because I used to be a preschool teacher. So when you have a teenager or a young child or even a young adult who I guess has lost their way, so to say, I always wonder, like, where was that turning point that made that child kind of go down that path? Because, children aren't born, with attitudes. Children aren't born being disrespectful. Those are all taught behaviors. And I definitely agree with you when you said, power of life and death is in the tongue, and we have to be careful of what we say to them, especially, condemning them even at a young age. So, for example, I was one of the teachers in the 3-year-old room, and I had a cute little boy. He was bad. I never liked calling kids bad, but he was very mischievous. And all the bad ones, those are all of my favorites. I always love the ones that get in trouble all the time. So, I would tell him, try to give him positive affirmations, like, no, you're good, and give him creative criticisms. But he would tell me, no, I'm bad. And I'm like, no, you're not bad. He was like, yes, I am. My mommy said I'm bad. So even though we're trying to combat that, and it just kept getting worse. So he started making a conscious choice to be bad, because we like to teach choices in preschool, as a good choice or a not so good choice. And he was like, I want to be bad. I'm going to make a bad choice. He used to say this to me, like, I'm going to make a bad choice and you put me in timeout. Like, he would just, I'm going to be in timeout. That's the consequence. But I love kids like that, because kids like that are not lost. They really aren't. But all these things are learned behaviors. Why does a young woman and her as a teenager think she's ugly? Who told her that she's ugly? Was it society standards that said, oh, you're not that cute? Was it a friend? Was it a parent? You just never know people's backgrounds and where they come from. And I just feel that nobody is truly lost. No one is truly lost. You're always able to turn around for the better. I think it's sometimes changing that person's environment. But like you said, if that environment cannot change, it is up to us to plant those seeds. Because yes, we can pray. Yes, we can sing, shout, dance. That's fine. But we need to plant those seeds and actually have positive action into those children, into the youth's lives. And then that's when you can let God do all the work. Because yeah, we prayed about it, but we also did something about it. So now he can take that and have that grow and help that young person or that child. So I definitely love what you're doing. I love your program, especially when it comes to like self-worth and self-esteem and etiquette. You don't know until you know. And sadly, a lot of times our children don't know because we don't know. Like, no one taught their parents, no one taught their guardians. So it's never too late to learn. It's never too late to get better. And like you said, the best way to do that, to introduce someone to something new that they're not used to, is with love. It's not with condemning them. So, and I don't really believe in going and introducing someone to something with the goal of changing them. I think, if you go say, I accept you for who you are, I accept you as you are, and I love you as you are. And once that person feels that genuine respect, that genuine love, they have no choice but to become love themselves. I am famous for breaking somebody down through kindness. Trust me, I know it can work. And it's not that my goal is not to break them down, but it's like, no, I'm going to continue to be who I am. I am the light. I know I'm the light. I recognize that's who I am. And me being that makes you say, you know what? I have no choice but to be surrounded by love and light every time I'm around this girl, because it's just too much. So that's what we have to work on. We have to work on ourselves. And then that way, once we have acknowledged who we are and what our purpose is in that young person's life or in the youth's life, then that's when change can happen, and it can be done. Right. But like you said, it takes a village. It's not just one person. Now, one person can make a difference, but it's much better if we all try.
And that's identifiable change, because most of the time they already know what they need to change. Yeah. So we're just coaching them along.
Yes.
Right. So it's just identifiable change, but you're so right. And it starts young, So if you start right where you are, it's one step at a time, one person at a time. It takes a village. Now it takes a little bit more than a village, I believe. But if we all come together and we say,
Yes.
wow, we can really do this thing,
Yeah.
I mean, because we have different skills. You may have the skill or the passion for one thing. I may have the skill or passion for something else. But I just believe in our youth, and I believe that, they can do better and become
Yeah.
better.
I definitely believe that as well. And I think the first thing you have to do is you have to break down that barrier there. We all put up a wall, whether we know it or not. Your wall may not be as tall or as big or as thick as someone else's, but
Right.
even like I love talking to like teenagers, especially the girls who have an attitude, because most girls, let's take for the airport example. I work at the airport, and they have the services where you call for wheelchair service, they'll take you down, and usually they're young people and they don't want to be there. So I love going up to them saying, hi, good morning. And I'm telling you, so you don't get discouraged. They may not speak back to you at first, trust me, but you can't take that personally. So if I say, hi, good morning, I just keep speaking to them, not because I want them to do anything back, but because it's a good thing to speak to people. It's a good thing to say good morning with a smile. You never know what they've been through. You never know. They could just fought with their parents, their boyfriend, their girlfriend. It doesn't matter. And I just say, hi, good morning to let you know that, hey, I see you. You're not just something I'm passing by, and you're important to me. So, and next thing you know, one time, because we're all human, I'm rushing and I forgot to say good morning. And they were like, hey, Mr. Garrett, good morning. And I'm like, good morning. Because I'm telling you, because sometimes even I get discouraged, like, oh, no one cares. I'm just saying hello, but I'm just going to be me. But no, little things like that matter. So when I'm speaking to them and they say, you know what, she's genuinely nice, she wants to say hello to me, that wall has now come down. So that if I need to talk to that person, they now have an open heart and open mind to listen.
That's right.
Yeah. It is great. I tell you, this feedback, this conversation is we can go on and on because it's such a, a big topic and so much to be said. And there's so much that we even have not tapped into. But today has been wonderful. I am grateful. So to our audience, if you know a parent who has wayward children, or even if they are not wayward children, we still gave some great information, some great advice. And I would love for you to share this video, share this broadcast, to whomever you would like to share it with. Just know you're part of the team now, and we would love for you to share, comment, like. We never know where these broadcasts will wind up. Who knows? It might be in the hands of someone who needs to do a class for our teenagers, for our young people. So with your prayers and with your action, because Trophy of Life is the action of hope and encouragement. And we're grateful to God for having the opportunity to share by way of Project 365. We share hope, encouragement, and inspiration. And on that note, we're going to leave you for today, but we will be back on tomorrow. At what time, Takira?
1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time.
1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Thank you, Vanessa. We appreciate you.
You're welcome. I appreciate you as well. And also tell them to subscribe.
Yes.
Definitely. So look, she must have subscribed. So thank you. Thank you, everyone.
And
Project 365 loves you.
Thank you to Deborah.
Thank you, Debbie Fletcher. We appreciate you, girl.
All right.
She really has a ministry of her own, really, even when she sends those it's like a good morning with a really good tip in it for the day.
I look forward to that every morning.
Keep it going, Deb. We love you. God bless you, and we'll see you tomorrow.
Okay, bye-bye.